For thousands of years, it's driven empires, it's defined what it means to be wealthy, and it's absolutely captivated us. I'm talking, of course, about gold. But if you ever stop to wonder why is this one metal so incredibly valuable? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig in and find out exactly why. And that's really the core question, isn't it? I mean, think about it. Unlike a stock, gold doesn't represent a piece of a business. And unlike a bond, it's not going to pay you any interest. It literally just sits there. So what gives this shiny, inert metal its incredible, lasting power over our economies? And, let's be honest, our imagination.
To really get why gold is such a big deal today, we've got to go way, way back. Long before it was ever used as money or as some kind of investment, it was simply treasure. So let's dive into this ancient obsession and figure out why our ancestors first fell in love with it.
I mean, from the Egyptian pharaohs to the Incan emperors, gold was the ultimate status symbol. It was beautiful, sure, but it also had these almost magical properties. It didn't rust, it didn't corrode, and its shine was just mesmerizing. But here's the truly wild part. This obsession was totally universal. We're talking cultures that had zero contact with each other, all independently deciding that this yellow metal was special. That shared belief is what gave gold its first real foundational value. Okay, so with pretty much everyone on the planet agreeing this stuff was amazing, it set the stage for gold's next big move, becoming the world's money. This is where gold makes the leap from just being a pretty object to becoming the actual backbone of global commerce. So the story kind of starts around 600 BC in what's now Turkey. That's when the first gold coins were made, which was a game changer for making trade easier. Now let's fast forward a couple thousand years to the 1800s. The world's biggest empires all get on board with the gold standard. This basically meant their paper money was just a placeholder. You could, in theory, exchange it for a fixed amount of actual physical gold. But then in 1971, everything changed. The US cut the dollar's final tie to gold, and just like that, the entire world entered a brand new era of money.
And this shift was huge. It fundamentally changed what money even is. See, under a gold standard, money's value was anchored to something physical and rare. You couldn't just make more of it. But today, we use what's called fiat currency. Its value comes purely from the trust and faith we have in the government that issues it. And that means its supply isn't limited by how much you can dig out of the ground, but by government policy.
So you might be thinking, okay, if our money isn't backed by gold anymore, why didn't gold just fade away? Great question. Because after 1971, gold took on a new, but maybe even more critical role in the modern economy. It became the ultimate financial safe haven.
So one of gold's main jobs these days is to be what we call a hedge against inflation. Sounds complicated, but the idea is actually super simple. You know when the money in your pocket starts buying less and less stuff? That's inflation. Well, the price of gold often moves in the opposite direction. It helps protect your wealth, acting like a financial shield when the economy gets rocky. And this really gets to the heart of why it's considered so safe. When things get chaotic, people flock to gold because its value isn't tied to any one government or any one economy's decisions. Its supply is finite. You can't just fire up a printer and make more gold. But here's the real kicker. Even central banks, the very institutions that issue all that fiat currency, are some of the biggest buyers of gold on the planet. When they buy gold, it's a huge signal that even they want an asset that's outside the systems they control.
But believe it or not, the story doesn't end in the vaults of central banks. Gold's value is also locked in by a hidden but totally essential role it plays in the technology that you and I use every single day. This is what secures its future. No, seriously, if you're watching this on a phone or a laptop or a tablet, you are physically holding gold right now. It's an amazing conductor of electricity and it doesn't corrode, which makes it perfect for all the tiny connectors and wires inside our gadgets. It is, quite literally, the gold standard for high-performance electronics. This chart here really paints the full picture for us. You can see jewelry and investment are still the biggest pieces of the pie, of course, but that 10% for technology is so important. It provides a solid, real-world industrial demand for gold. This means it's not just a financial asset people speculate on, it's a raw material that's absolutely essential to the modern world. So when you put it all together, that's really the magic formula. Gold's value comes from this incredible mix: its ancient, universal appeal, its modern role as a financial shield, and its non-negotiable use in the technology that is powering our future. And all this brings us to one final big question. As we move deeper into an age of cryptocurrencies and purely digital finance, will this ancient physical metal continue to be the ultimate symbol of wealth? Or will thousands of years of history finally get challenged by a completely new definition of value? Now that's something we're all just going to have to watch unfold. Thanks for joining us.